李大说
邊個話我傻？我請你食燒鵝。
邊個話我傻？我請你食燒鵝。David's Childhood Part 2 大衛的童年下集。條粉腸遮屎，食飽冇屎屙，好地地學人玩冇自信，搞到妻離子散。戇居。
Jesse was enjoying a successful career and a blessed family of 7 virtuous children. But for reasons best known to him, he began to entertain doubts about his ancestry. All because his grandmother, Ruth, was a Moabite convert. Really itchy buntoot.
屎忽痕，拗下都唔得。話說當年亞麻路德記 Ruth 即係鹿鼎記嘅細妹，係異鄉人，按照教條，阿耶波亞次 Boaz 係唔准娶外族女子，實際上係一場誤會，係對條規嘅誤解，其實係女子唔准嫁外族男子，唔係男子唔准娶外族女子。波亞次其實係打算以身作則，身體力行，來澄清呢個誤會，咁解嘅。
Moving 2 generations back to the days of Ruth, there was an aspect of the law which was still unknown to the masses. The Torah specifically forbids an Israelite to marry a Moabite convert since it was the nation that cruelly refused the Jewish people passage through their land, or food and drink to purchase, when they wandered in the desert after being freed from Egypt. However, the prohibition applied to the males only while exempting female Moabite converts. With his marriage to Ruth, Boaz hoped to clarify and publicize this Torah law.
好衰唔衰？喺洞房花燭嘅同一晚，阿耶波亞次瓜老襯去賣鹹鴨蛋，同時波亞次 Boaz 百發百中，路德記 Ruth 亦有咗。嗰啲搞屎棍跟住就煽風點火，一口咬定波亞次 Boaz 嗰死，證實咗佢娶路德記 Ruth 係違法嘅。但係天父證實波亞次 Boaz 係啱嘅，波亞次 Boaz 的子孫個個出人頭地，有頭有面。
Unfortunately, Boaz died the night after his marriage with Ruth, who had conceived and subsequently gave birth to Obed, the father of Jesse. Some troublemakers claim that Boaz's death verified that his marriage to Ruth the Moabite had indeed been forbidden. However, time proved them wrong. The righteous conduct and prestigious positions of Boaz's descendants proved the legitimacy of their ancestry. It was impossible that men of such caliber could have descended from a forbidden union.
條粉腸遮屎黐孖筋，扮憂鬱。即使天父已經證實咗波亞次 Boaz 係啱嘅，但係佢仲唔係幾肯定，仲係覺得佢應該做啲嘢，其實佢到頭來只會得個吉。
Despite such glaring confirmation from God, doubt still gripped at Jesse's heart, gnawing away at the very foundation of his existence. His self-righteousness eventually compelled him to action that led to unnecessary pain and sorrow. Truly, the letter of the law kills but the Spirit gives life, as stated in 2 Corinthians 3:6.
冰凍3尺，非一日之寒，遮屎嘅自尊心一直喺度折磨緊佢。佢一日唔能夠證實自己猶太人嘅身份，就一日耿耿於懷，心事重重。茶飯不思，佢覺得自己冇資格娶猶太人做老婆，所以就決定同老婆脫離關係。佢嘅7個仔都知道老豆嘅決定，神神化化。混帳，一句講晒，遮屎注重人嘅睇法多過天父嘅肯定，膚淺。為咗證實自己猶太人嘅身份，佢決定學佢祖師爺亞伯拉罕娶自己老婆嘅猶太女僕，如果得子，大眾就會冇話可說。
Jesse reasoned that he was not permitted to remain married to his wife, a veritable Israelite, if his status was questionable. Consequently, he decided that the only solution was to be separated from her, no longer engaging in marital relations. Their children were aware of this separation. So Jesse, wanting a legitimate heir, came up with a plan to have a son in the same way that his forefather Abraham had done, through relations with his wife's Canaanite maidservant. Whether Jesse was viewed by God as a true Israelite or just as a Moabite convert to Judaism, the law allowed him to marry a female convert to Judaism. If he obtained a son from this union, this son would be recognized by all as a legitimate heir, thus securing Jesse's family line.
但女僕對女主人情比金堅，便告知女主人遮市嘅市橋，建議將計就計，學祖先狸貓換太子，就咁喺遮市神不知鬼不覺之下，女主人有咗，但係遮市戇居居，唔知嗰個係自己骨肉。
The maidservant was aware of the anguish of her mistress, Nitzevet. She understood her pain in being separated from her husband for so many years. She knew, as well, of Nitzevet's longing for more children. The empathetic maidservant secretly approached Nitzevet and informed her of Jesse's plan and suggested a bold counterplan. Let us emulate your ancestresses. Switch places with me tonight, just as Leah did with Rachel. The plan succeeded. That night, Nitzevet conceived. Jesse was oblivious of the switch.
How could Jesse not know? He did it blindfolded.
Mana saya tahu?
以為自己老婆勾佬，暗結珠胎，妻子喊打喊殺，誓言要手任淫婦。女主人為咗丈夫嘅面子，冇踢爆真相，選擇學祖先榜樣，沉默是金。俗語話齋，守得雲開見月明，嗰 baby 將會係真命天子。
In due time, Nitzevet's pregnancy became obvious. Incensed, her sons wished to kill their apparently adulterous mother and the illegitimate fetus that she was carrying. On her part, Nitzevet did not want to embarrass her husband by revealing the truth. Like her ancestress Tamar, who was prepared to be burned alive rather than embarrass Judah, Nitzevet chose a vow of silence. And like Tamar, Nitzevet would be rewarded for her silence with a child of greatness through whom would come forth the Messiah.
遮使將老婆同 baby 打入冷宮，從此以後，不聞不問，不瞅不睬，當母子豬狗不如，刻骨銘心嘅母子情深，相依為命的悲劇就咁開始。呢對母子嘅遭遇同以後耶穌嘅遭遇相似。
Despite being oblivious to the truth of his wife's pregnancy, Jesse ordered his sons not to touch her. Do not kill her. Instead, let the child that will be born be treated as a lowly and despised servant. In this way everyone will realize that his status is questionable, and, as an illegitimate child, he will not marry an Israelite. From the time of his birth onwards, David was treated by his brothers as an abominable outcast. The community assumed that the child was a treacherous sinner full of unspeakable guilt. We see a reflection of it in the child Jesus. As a result of his virgin birth, Jesus the child was deemed an illegitimate child. This can be seen from the footnote of Mark 6:3. Consequently, the blessed child was treated as an abominable outcast by his siblings and despised by the community.
之後，乜嘢狗屎垃圾都係母子嘅錯，乜鬼好嘢都歸於遮使同佢嘅妻子。
On the infrequent occasions that Nitzevet's son would return from the pastures to his home in Beit Lechem, Bethlehem, he was shunned by the townspeople. If something was lost or stolen, he was accused as the natural culprit, and ordered, in the words of the psalm, to repay what I have not stolen. It was said that all the great qualities of Boaz were to be found in Jesse and his 7 sons, while all the despicable traits of Ruth the Moabite were concentrated in David.
快樂時間過得快，又係時候講拜拜，係咁先啦，唔係乜嘢啊 ？Till we meet again, stay tuned。
贺新年，祝新年，新年那年连年，
爆竹声声吹着像有年。
贺新年，祝新年，新年那年连年，
岁月悠悠，光阴如箭。
回首往事，事如烟，痛苦心酸，
希望从今，万事如愿。
贺新年，祝新年，新年啊年连绵，
愿大家都过个太平年。